Alright, good evening folks, it's Enforcer Matt and welcome back to another short war summary. And today we received a lot of more information about that KERCH bridge attack which happened last night. On our stream we were able to cover it minute by minute, however we only had preliminary information to cover and nothing super concrete. But since our stream last night we have received more footage and more details of the attack to give you a bigger perspective of what exactly happened that the Ukrainians carried out on that bridge. So let's go ahead and jump into our first piece of news here, which is from the Kyiv Post. And it says Russia's National Anti-Terrorist Committee said that the attack on the Crimean bridge was carried out at 0305 by two Ukrainian unmanned service vehicles. And that provides a big piece of the puzzle that we really weren't sure about last night because there was speculation this might have been a missile attack, but instead it appears now that it was Ukrainian unmanned drone boats which were carrying explosives which carried out this attack. And there was precisely two of them according to this National Anti-Terrorist Committee from Russia. And, obviously it's Russia, but I don't think they have any reason to lie about the drone boat part of the story. They also said that the road component of the Crimean bridge was damaged and a criminal case has been initiated under the Article Terrorist Act. And now we see Russia trying to frame this like a terrorist attack when in reality it's an act of war. And, it's acceptable in war to attack bridges, and Ukraine has done that once again. So let's go ahead and look at this video here, which shows the damage to the bridge from one angle. And we can see an entire section of road bridge is now down into basically almost the water. It's completely detached from the left section of the bridge, and it is extensively damaged. And the video here is very short, it's only 6 seconds long, but it does give us a crucial angle to show how damaged the bridge is. And to me, it looks like the Ukrainians might have increased the yield of their drone boats because it took a lot of explosive force to actually separate this bridge from the other half. And it appears that Ukraine is beginning to perfect their drone boat attacks. So very good to see. And also, moving on to our next piece of news here, we have some information included in this New York Times article, which gives us some more news about the casualties in the attack. So down here it says that Russian officials said 2 people were killed in the attack and a third was injured. And they're also claiming from the Russian officials that rail service over the bridge has resumed Monday morning, but the damage to the car lanes leave most of the bridge impassable, and it's going to end up constricting Russian logistical operations to a very big extent. And I'd have to agree with that wholeheartedly. The KERCH bridge is crucial to Russia, and to have it attacked and knocked out, that is a very big deal. And the Ukrainians know that, and they've attacked the bridge multiple times now. This is the second time they've attacked it. So I want to real quickly show you this car here in this footage. I believe this is where the casualties took place when the drone boats exploded and blew up the bridge, but I'm not entirely sure about that. We'll have to wait and see exactly where those casualties occurred, but I believe they were this car right here. And moving on to our next piece of news here, we have a video from the Russian Investigative Committee showing video of the damage as well from another angle, and also the investigation that the Russians are carrying out into the attack. And in this video, we can see an investigator picking up rubble from the bridge to conduct the investigation. We also see them standing right on the damaged section, actually. Very dangerous and very stupid and right on par with the Russians. Some guy inspecting the guardrails over here on the left. And we also see that car that we mentioned earlier, and also the bridge being separated as well right there. And another Russian investigator looking at the damage from that side. So the Russians are trying to make it appear like they are under control in this situation and they have their investigators on the case. But we all know that we already know what happened and Ukraine did this attack. But of course, Russia is going to make it look like they're carrying out a proper investigation for the public's benefit. So let's move on to our next piece of news here, which is from Clash Report. And it says the Russian Foreign Ministry says the decision to attack the Crimean bridge was made by Ukrainian officials and the military with the participation of the U.S. and British intel services. And this is a typical line of attack by the Russians to blame the U.S. and British intel services for the attack. But in reality, we know that Zaluzhny, the top Ukrainian general, has said in the days prior to this attack that the Ukrainians were planning on attacking Crimea and that nobody was going to stop him from carrying out that attack. And I assume he was directing that at the West because the West is making him basically take a very, very reserved approach before attacking anything that the Russians have. So it appears Zaluzhny is putting his plan into motion and attacking the bridge now, which is something that Ukraine has been wanting to do for some time, and it looks like they are finally stepping up and doing that once again. So moving on to our next piece of news here, we have a post from Trent Telenko. And he provides us another picture of the attack. This is a Maxar satellite footage of the bridge span being down. And Trent here says this was a really large explosive charge to unseat the Kerch Straits road bridge. And also, if it was an underwater drone delivery, then stopping another attack is going to require Russia to install seabed sonar gear as well as institute helicopter support. And I think if the Russians truly had this capacity, they would have already put it into place because they know the bridge is a favorite target of the Ukrainians. It's crucial to their war effort, and if they had this ability, of course they would have already put it there so they could prevent this attack. But if they do have the ability to do so, I imagine the Russians will start instituting this now, but I simply don't think that is the case. And moving on to our next piece of news here, we have a post from United 24. And they're taking a victory lap here about the attack. They said, "Thank you to all donors, friends, and partners of United 24 who one day believed in naval drones." And we do know that United 24 is an initiative of President Zelensky to raise money to fund the war effort. And United 24 also had a hand in helping fundraise for those naval drones. So they're getting some much due credit for their part in this whole situation. And they also gave us another video of the attack of a sideways angle here. There's that same section of bridge. It is down, heading toward the water, and that gives us another perspective to show how bad the damage is. So good to see, and also good for perspective. So let's move on to our next piece of news here, which is actually live updates. Putin held a televised meeting today following the attack on the bridge, and he has provided some more context as well, along with his deputy ministers. It looks like Putin says he wants concrete proposals on ensuring the bridge's security in the future. Kind of tying back into Trent's tweet, there's going to be a lot of speculation and proposals being offered to basically protect the bridge in the future. But like I said, I don't think it's going to get anywhere. Also, it looks like Russia's deputy prime minister tells Putin that one part of the road on the Crimea bridge is completely destroyed and will have to be rebuilt. Also, they even give us a timeline on the rebuilding of that section of bridge, and they said it should be done by the 15th of September for the traffic on one side of the road to reopen. And on the other side, it will reopen by November 1st. So it looks like we got a long time to go before the Russians rebuild this bridge. And also, this is a Russian timeline, so we know we have to add several months to it because the Russians aren't going to perform this on schedule. But I'm sure they'll give it priority because, of course, this bridge is crucial to them. But I think it'll take longer than that. So this bridge could be out for months. And with that being said, we're moving on to our next story, which we're switching gears slightly, just a little bit, but this is a pretty big one and we have to cover it. The Russians are now saying in reference to the Black Sea grain deal that they are unwilling to negotiate any further on it and that the Russian government's decision to withdraw from the grain deal is final. And we did learn yesterday that the last ship under the existing grain deal that was in place left a Ukrainian port with the grain. And that was apparently the last one that was agreed to by the Russians. And now they're saying that they will no longer negotiate. And I'm sure the Kerch Bridge explosion played a large part into their decision to do that. So we'll have to see here what happens with it. Right now, we're waiting to see what Turkey is going to do because they have suggested that they might protect Ukrainian ships leaving port with the grain and selling it. So we'll have to see if Turkey steps up and follows through on that promise. And on that note, we see Zelensky here saying that ship owners have told Ukraine that they are ready to continue Black Sea grain exports if Ukraine and Turkey allow ships to pass through, says a spokesperson, and that was reported by Reuters. So we see that all eyes are now on Turkey to see if they're going to step up and follow through on their promise. And if they do, we might see something start heating up between Turkey and Russia relating to this grain deal. So we'll have to wait and see. But with that being said, that is our last piece of news for the day. And that is all we have on the Kerch Bridge. But I'm sure much more information will come out in the coming hours. And we will cover that tomorrow on our stream at 10 p.m. Eastern. And if you would, please put a like on this video. Please subscribe to the channel as well. And if you haven't, go peep our Twitter page. Our Twitter handle is @It'sTheEnforcer, and we post war updates as they occur. And also, if we get any more information about the Kerch Bridge between now and tomorrow's stream, we will post it there as well. That is the fastest way to get the news, so go check us out over there. And we just hit 10,000 Twitter followers, so big thanks to you for that as well. And also, If you want to support our work, we do have a Patreon. The link is in the description below for that, and you can help support us keeping reporting on this news by going and looking at the Patreon. So, with that being said, thank you for all for watching, and bye-bye for now.